Right, good evening everyone. Can you all please make sure that your systems are switched on if you wish to speak? Okay. Right, well good evening and welcome to the meeting of the Employment Committee on Thursday the 7th of November. As the report sets out, our employees at North Northants Council fall into two categories currently. Those on the nationally agreed pay terms and conditions and those on locally agreed pay terms and conditions. Whilst the majority of staff are now on the NNC terms of employment, there are some that currently remain on the employment terms of their predecessor authorities. On this basis, all the staff on the nationally agreed pay terms and conditions automatically receive a pay increase. In order to treat all staff in a fair and equal manner, the decision in front of us today is to agree or otherwise the pay award being given to those on the locally agreed pay terms. As stated in the report, granting this pay award to those on locally agreed pay terms would be in line with the Council's corporate plan to be an employer of choice. Before I open up for discussion, I will pass to Helen Hudson from I think I'm jumping ahead here. Apologies for that. Item 1 on the agenda is apologies for absence.
Yeah, we've had apologies from Councillors Jim Hakewell and Councillor Joseph Smith is subbing for him, and Councillor John Paul Carr. I assume Councillor Leanne Buchan, no?
No.
Councillor Larry Henson.
Oh, okay, thank you. Councillor Larry Henson's subbing for him, and Marie Devlin Hogg.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Chair. Can I just come in there? Sorry, Chair. Yeah, we have an apology, so obviously didn't get received, but Councillor Elliot Prentice is not here this evening, and you're right in spotting Councillor Buckingham. She's here in his placement. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Item 2 is members' declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? Okay, thank you. Item 3, minutes of the meeting held on the 3rd of June. Is it your wish that I sign those minutes, or are there any comments that anyone would like to make?
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the members, Councillor Jan O'Hara is missed off the meeting. She was actually present because as you look down, she proposed the exec and was seconded by John Paul Carr. So Jan O'Hara was at the meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other comments or amendments? Okay. Well, subject to that amendment, is it your wish that I sign the minutes? I propose a seconder, and all in favour? Thank you. Okay, item 4 is to consider the pay award for 2024-25. I've already given you my opening gambit on that, so I will pass straight to Helen Hudson to give any update.
Thank you, Chair. If I could just summarise main elements from the report that was presented to you as Employment Committee. So it's seeking your agreement to apply the 2024 Local Government NJC Pay Award to our employees on duty protected terms who do not currently have a contractual right to that pay award. This is because they're on locally agreed pay terms and conditions. Following phase 1 of pay and grading this year, there are now 51% of employees who are on the council's own terms and conditions and are covered by the NJC. The remaining 49%, which is around 1,300 employees, are on their TUPE protected terms and conditions. So whilst the majority of TUPE employees do have those contractual entitlement to pay uplift, the NJC, about 600 employees do not. They predominantly came from the old county council and from OCS and from other small TUPE transfers into North Northamptonshire Council. So we anticipate that the number of employees on the TUPE terms that don't have a contractual entitlement to this pay award will, as phase 2 of pay and grading takes place, will reduce fairly significantly. But phase 2 is taking place during 2025. So whilst there remains these employees on TUPE terms without contractual entitlement to the pay award, obviously asking for your agreement to apply that award to them. There are a number of reasons for this, as outlined in the report, to apply the National Pay Award regardless of terms and conditions across our staff. One is to embrace the Council's values and ambitions. It would also support the corporate aim of being an employer of choice. We're aiming to retain employees and recognise their ongoing hard work and commitment and contribution to delivering council services. Also, as I'm sure everybody will appreciate, although we've seen inflation falling to a lower level than previously, the cost of living continues to present challenges to some of our lower paid employees, including some who are on those TUPE terms and conditions, being ones that were employed by the previous county council. So we did consider a number of issues and choices when putting forward the report, and obviously one alternative would be not to apply this to those employees, this pay award. But that would fall short of demonstrating our key values and commitments to all of our staff. We already have a complex mix of terms and conditions from the TUPE transfer and the creation of the unitary. So only paying the pay award to some colleagues and not others will further enhance some of those disparities and will likely have a negative impact on staff morale and engagement. The agreement last year by the Employment Committee was given to apply the National Pay Award, and I know that was warmly welcomed by employees and much appreciated, as well as our trade union partners as well. And it was seen as a positive step on our journey to move towards more transparent and fair pay practices. So the report recognises that applying the National Pay Award to all staff is a significant investment in financial terms, and our financial colleagues have calculated that the cost of implementing the pay award for 2024 for all employees across the board is £5 million. Finance colleagues have confirmed that this is funded through the main existing allocated budgets and the use of contingency, and that had already been factored into the medium-term financial planning process. Not within the report, but I have the figures from our finance colleagues that within that £5 million total, the estimated cost of the uplift for that proportion of employees who don't have a contractual entitlement to it is around £885,000. So in summary, I'd like to refer members once again to the recommended note in section 3.1, which seeks your approval to proceed with implementing the pay uplift to these employees on local terms and conditions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, the recommendation is in front of us. Does anyone have any comments they would like to make? Councillor O'Hara?
Sorry, may I just clarify something? With the announcement with the NI contributions, how's that going to affect us going forward?
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. In terms of the employer contributions to national insurance, I don't know directly the answer to that question, but I'm quite sure it does affect the council as an employer when it is introduced.
Sorry, you do think it's going to affect us or not? Because I wasn't sure from what the government said as to who was exempt and who wasn't.
Thank you, Chair. I can check with our finance colleagues, but I believe as an employer we would be having to, the national insurance rules will apply to us as a local authority as it would to any other employer.
I think Councillor
Can I
Partridge,
congratulate our staff in preparing this document? It's very complex, but it's clearly stated and it's an easy read. So well done through you, Chairman, to the staff that have played a major part in bringing this to us. I read through it and I feel this is the way forward for this authority. It's certainly our ambition to be an employer of choice, and so I would cheerfully move the recommendation, but I don't want to stop anybody else from speaking on it, but I'm more than happy with this to go forward in its printed state.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else wish to ask any questions? Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. I just want to agree with my fellow colleague there. I think there's a lot of hard work gone into this. It's very clear, it's easy to read, and it's certainly going to benefit lots of employees, and it's definitely the right thing to do. And I second it, wholeheartedly. So, congratulations to the officers for putting this together and the executive team for making this decision.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think in order to meet our desire with the corporate plan, then yes, it does seem a sensible decision. We have a proposer and a seconder. Can I have a vote of all those in favour? Anyone against? And any abstentions? Okay, in that case the motion is passed. There are no other items of business, so I therefore declare the meeting closed. Thank you.